Black people got to kind of understand that a black man just held the most powerful position in the Western free world for 8 years. And shit didn't get better, it got worse. Now, let me say this. A black man just had, with all the best intentions in the world. This was not a bad man. Obama was as good as they get. And you can't really deny that. That man was as well intended as they get, as educated as they get, as decent as they get. Dude, shit did not get better. It got worse. What is it going to take for niggas to realize that these motherfuckers is not playing with us? They do not want to share this sandbox. They want us to stay in second-class citizenship, and that's the only place they want us. They want to keep us in our place so they can maintain this white privilege. Black power threatens white privilege. Or white privilege is threatened by black power. That's the difference between black power and white power. Black power is not threatened by white privilege. It's diminished by white privilege. White privilege is threatened by black power because white privilege is only based upon this intersubjective agreement, this iniquitous, unequal, imbalanced intersubjective agreement. If we remove ourselves from this intersubjective agreement and establish our own intersubjective agreement, which is our own culture, our own nationality, our own language, then we can prove ourselves to be the superior humans or not. They're threatened by this reality of black power. That black power might translate to black supremacy, not by way of our policies or by way of some intersubjective agreement, but by the objective reality. That the objective reality will support that black power or black supremacy is the reality of nature. And that's what is threatened. That's why they don't want us to have our own. If you think they have any interest in seeing us as a psychologically healthy people, a unified people, a cultured people, a people with access to resources, then you're sadly mistaken. And I don't care how liberal they are. This is not working out for us, and this is not going to work out for us. The only thing that's going to work out for us is truly separate but equal. Let's get on that Jim Crow. I mean, 2,000 crows. That's why I'm just saying, let's establish our own nation. We fought for the wrong thing. We fought for this thing called inclusion to end separation. But we established, we still don't have equality. We're integrated without equality. Do you see how unequal we are? We're second-class citizens. So we're not separate anymore. Now we're integrated and unequal. We need to go back to separate and establish true equity. Equity. Or equitability. The equitability. How do you pronounce that shit? I don't know what the fuck I mean. Come on now. It's time, bro. We cannot, and the thing about it is, they have all the time in the world. In kind of in a sense, they have all the time in the world. To the point that they can still indoctrinate, maintain their cultural dominance over us, even after they diminish in their genetic or presence. Their cultural presence their mimetic presence will maintain as long as, you know what I'm saying, we continue to pass, to carry on their, you know what I'm saying, their culture, their cultural ideas, and our cultural views of ourselves. And that we can't do. See, they're trying to, non-locally live through us, to take the position of our ancestors, even though they might not physically be here because they're diminishing physically as far as their numbers, and their numbers are less than ours globally, and they're diminishing nationally, domestically. But in reality, and a lot of white people, I mean, a lot of black people think that there's more, white people on the planet than there are, black people. In actuality, 90%, and this is, not Elijah Muhammad, this is the actual census, 90% of the planet is people of color. Only 10% to 11% of the population of the planet, of the entire planet Earth, is what you would call European or Caucasian. They are the minority. That's the reality. That the majority of people on this planet are people of color. People who are feared by whites. Even those who, have pseudo, privilege as a result of their genetic mimetic makeup being closer to that of the European, that which constitutes their ethnicity, their hair, so on, hair textures and so on and so forth. But in actuality, at the end of the day, they don't like you either. So, but people of color as a whole. But we as black folks, we can't continue to be concerned with the issues of other people of color when they're not as concerned about the issues of black folks. See what I'm saying? Or so-called African Americans, if that's what you want to call us. We don't even know what to call ourselves. They know what to call themselves. They have a national identity, a cultural identity, a linguistic identity unto its own. They have access to foreign GDPs and have established domestic GDPs based upon that. We're not in the same boat. We're in an entirely different boat. And we need to understand that we're in an entirely different boat. And while they're securing their boats and we're helping them secure their boats, our boat got a whole bunch of holes in it that we need to fix and it's sinking. So we need to stop fucking trying to get everybody else's boat together and get our boat together. We need to think about us first. I hear brothers talking about our brown brothers and our motherfucking goddamn these brothers and our queer. Now, again, as far as the black community is concerned, we have an entire, gambit of people. Black is not just one mind state. And we need to take care of all of our brothers and sisters, regardless if they're queer, so-called straight, transgender or whatever it is. Black folks need to come together as black folks, and we need to look out for black folks' issues as black folks, as those issues affect black folks, because they affect us differently than they do any other group. So we do need to think of ourselves less misogynistically, because we do think of ourselves, we only think about really the black man. And that's a problem with our movement, that our movement has been so male-centered. That it has been so, and black women have been a center of it and wanting inclusion within it, but we have this patriarchal society, social structure in which we have shut them out and made them feel inferior within this overall structure. So, I mean, that's something that we need to start thinking about, and that black people are not one size fits all. That we need to start thinking about our problems as they affect us all as black people, as all the ways in which black people manifest themselves, or so-called African Americans manifest themselves. Because this idea that we're going to unify under one particular idea or one monolith is just absurd. So that's me today, man. That's